I am a business owner. I am an entrepreneur. Trust me, no one is more shocked to hear those words than probably myself at this point. But today, I want to walk you through how I got myself to the point to be able to call myself both of those things. Hi, I'm Krista. If you're new here, I'm a mom of 2 littles. I have another little one coming here this month, well, September. So it's almost here. And yeah, I love to bullet journal, and that's what I've made my business around. I guess like the reason it's so like shocking and like funny to me that I'm like saying these things so often and like so confident in them that I'm like a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, is because I'm kind of like a rule follower. When I was young, my favorite subject was math, and I think it's because it was like, do these things and you'll get the right answer. You know, so I just like to almost be told what to do. That's actually the career path that I chose. If you've read The Big Leap by Gay Hendrick, he talks about operating in specific zones, right? And so like I have a goal to be operating in my zone of genius, which is just like creativity is flowing and maximum fun, I guess I would say, but also like making money is kind of something I want to do with that too. Just below that is like your zone of excellence. So for a while in life, I would say I was operating in my zone of excellence. I was a math nerd. I already told you that from the beginning. I did like AP Calc, AP, BC, AP Stats all in high school, and then like went to college thinking I was going to be an engineer, which wasn't right for me. I ended up taking a little break from college and did a mission for my church where we served and taught people. And that's where I found like another area of, I would say, my zone of excellence / zone of genius, which would be teaching. I was like, oh, I love teaching. So I switched my major when I came back and I decided to be a math teacher, which is like what the women in my family did. My mother was a graduate as a teacher. She actually never taught. She started having kids. But my older sister was a teacher, I graduated as a teacher, and my little sister actually still is a teacher. So that's kind of like what we did. We just become teachers. I graduated college and I got a job teaching high school math. And like I said, this is like my zone of excellence, right? Like I love math, I love teaching. I also love like serving people, which like high school students are sometimes a pain to serve, but I did love it. Like that part was really fun. And I will say this, like before I had kids and while I was teaching, I found bullet journaling, and this was like super fun to me. And I do remember like one night I had started like a YouTube channel. I was like really into like sharing and talking about it, like sitting at a computer with like an Excel spreadsheet in front of me with Spencer, my husband, and being like, I want to like sell this somehow, and like calculating like supplies costs, and like it was just like how, like I just couldn't wrap my head around it. These were just like dumb creative blocks at the time, I'm realizing, but I was just like pushed it aside and like stuck with my zone of excellence of teaching and like didn't really do anything else with that. So this has been on my mind for a while. I would say that was like 2020 that I had that like idea, but kind of like pushed it to the side. So I was like still safely like operating my zone of excellence. I was a teacher, and then I got pregnant, and once I had my baby, I was supposed to go back and teach the rest of the year, February through May, and I just like knew I could not. So that was good for me, right? Because like having a baby made me realize I'm not doing this anymore, and like quit. I mean, I wasn't like super proud that I like quit in the middle of the year, but like I quit because I was like, I want to be with my baby. I could not even fathom leaving her. This is a little bit of like a side note, but like I actually have like a ton of energy after I have a baby, and so I wasn't going back to work as a teacher, but I was like, I want to do something else. And I ended up like doing like 45 of like 90 hours of a Arizona real estate license. I was going to be a real estate agent. I was like, maybe I could do that. Plus we like wanted to move to Arizona, so that was kind of my thinking there. So yeah, I put in 45 hours of that, and then that kind of just like fizzled out because I don't know, I guess I was just like, that's not for me. Yeah, I put some time into that. So I always like have energy after I have a kid, and so I tried to do that, didn't really work. And then about 6 months after that, I was like, okay, I think I could work. Like I found maybe like I could do something from home when I wanted to start tutoring. So I was doing a little bit of tutoring, and then like this work from home job as a teacher kind of like landed in my lap. You know, I was looking for work, it came to me, and that job was great. Did enjoy it a lot, and like the compensation was great. Like it worked with my schedule. I kind of had to go to some meetings, but like they were super like, you can bring your kids, whatever. Did that for a while. After about, like I said, 6 months after I had my baby, which was also when I was pregnant with my second. Kept working, took a little bit of a break when I had my second child, and then, you know, like I said, I get energy again, so I was like back in it, working again after I had my son. A couple months after I had my son and was doing that part-time working from home job, it was only like 10-ish hours a week, maybe 20. It started feeling a little bit like a lot to me. Like it started feeling limiting, I would say, which now, like one of my like guiding questions is like, does this feel expansive? And then I do it. But like that wasn't really a question in my mind back then, but I did feel like, okay, this job is a lot of time. This job is, it's not like a lot of work. It's not like I wasn't, like I said, being paid well. It was just like, is this how I want to be spending my time? Like I had 2 kids. I was like getting them to sleep so I could work. Like, I don't know. It just like didn't feel expansive. It felt very limiting. And it also just like didn't feel like enough if I wanted to like keep growing my family, which is like what I wanted to do. And then at that time is when I actually threw my first bullet journal party. So I was kind of having these like doubts about my job and like starting to get like an itch to like do something for myself. And this was literally a little bit over a year ago, which is crazy. I've changed so much since then. So a little over a year ago, I threw my first bullet journal party. So 2 of my siblings came to me and they were like, we want to learn about bullet journaling. And I was like, okay. And then I just like had this idea for a bullet journal party. I literally remember the day of that bullet journal party, like having to do like an hour, half hour or something of work and like being like, ugh, I'm so tired of this. And then like having to like go to the store and pick up a little bit of supplies for the bullet journal party and having the feeling of like, this kind of feels like work, you know, like I could do this as a job, but like I like it. So I was like my first like, ooh, I like this, where I was like, I'm doing something I like and love and feel creative and fun doing it. I did not, like no one paid to come to that bullet journal party. I am a crazy bullet journalist. I literally had like 8 journals just like sitting at my house. I think I had to buy 2 more because I ended up inviting people and they were like, one person was like, should I pay you? I'm like, no, just come. Like, I just want you all to bullet journal with me. And that was so fun. Like, yeah, I like taught them how to make some spreads because they were blank dot grid pages and like everyone just like went into it. And I was like, oh, whoa, like people like my ideas. People are doing, I don't know. It was just so fun. Okay, so a couple months later, we moved to Arizona and there came to a point with my like part-time job where they were like, you need to like go get your fingerprints done or you can't work here anymore. I had been trying to do it and like wasn't working and like, I don't know. So I had moved to Arizona, which was like part of the dream, right? We wanted to move to Arizona and they were like, do this or you can't have this job anymore. And I was kind of like, okay, I can't have the job anymore. I gotta quit that way, which was a little scary at the time. And while like that was happening, I was already like creating digital products and like working on an Etsy shop. This is kind of how I started my business in the meantime. So I was kind of like doing both, but like when they kind of were like, you have to do this or quit, I was like, I'm gonna quit. So I quit. And then another like really crazy thing that was like a blessing in disguise, almost kind of like when I had my daughter and like forced me to quit. We moved here because my husband was gonna be a police officer and he quit. He did not like that job, which like was scary at the time because we moved here thinking that we were gonna have that salary and then we like didn't. Ultimately, it was like the biggest blessing because like I had been saving a lot while I was teaching. Like I had this like, I don't know, not like nest egg, but I had this like savings that I had always been like, what am I doing with this savings? Like it was like a retirement, it was a Roth. And I was like, it just like didn't sit well with me that I had like all this money like sitting here and like saving up for retirement. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And so like when he quit, it kind of forced me to be like, well, we have that, like let's just crack into it. Like, okay, that's fine, he can quit, we can do that. I literally had to like go on a drive by myself and be like, what's going on here? I was like, okay, we can use the Roth money, great. I think the next day I also had the idea, I was like, okay, I'm not just gonna like pull out the money and just like use it for rent because like we just like need it for the next few months. I like at dinner was like, okay, like I told Spencer, I was like, I want to pull out this money. And then I was like, but I want to use it for my business. I wanted to like use it for myself, right? Like I'd saved up a lot of money. I just wanted to like invest in myself. He was like all in. He was like, yes. And like, I ended up, this was kind of fun. Like I actually like started writing a book about the beginning of my business, and then like that fizzled away. But I actually like hired Spencer while he was like looking for another job. I hired him to like be my IT guy. He helped me get a new computer. I hired him to like help with cooking, cleaning, caregiving, taking care of kids. And I was like, here you go. And I gave him 3 months rent for that to like help him have that time to like find a job. Anyway, that's what I like said his salary would be. And then I also used a little bit of that to hire a coach. End of last year, I like hired a coach, was like trying to like do these digital products, make an actual physical bullet journal, and hired a coach to like work through all that stuff. And so yeah, at the end of last year is when I like launched a couple products. I launched a digital product, I launched my physical bullet journal. It's a pre-made bullet journal. And then I had the idea to throw bullet journal parties, which was really fun. It's where people could buy my bullet journal and like use it at a bullet journal party. So that was like the start of my like business. But honestly, like I still don't even think, I think by the end of last year I was like meekly saying I'm a small business owner. Just like not still like fully in it. It was like such a drastic shift to me to like go from working for my time to like working for myself. And like the new year starts and I'm like, okay, I have grand plans for my business, all these things. And I got pregnant, which is like sort of like put a halt on things because I just like lose a lot of energy at the beginning of my pregnancy. So yeah, I didn't like put a halt on things, but it just kind of forced me to like slow down. And like, I don't know, it was after like the whole like planner launch, which like is a big busy-ish season for me. I kind of slowed down and just kind of like took it easy. And like, I don't know, slowly my like actual business model that I'm like currently following right now came to me, where I like to make custom journals for people and like help them basically go through that transformation I just talked about, where I started like selling a product myself. So that's kind of like what's in the works right now. And like I basically went from like all the rules, here's your salary girl, to like you're doing this all on your own, which is like I think why I really like coaching, because like when you have a coach, they kind of tell you what to do. They don't really tell you what to do, but like you have someone who's kind of like giving you guidelines. And so that kind of like resonates with me of like, okay, I gotta like please this person. Not that I like am doing my business for my coach, I'm doing it for myself. But hopefully that sort of gave you a background of my business. I did want to share with you 3 things that I've learned through starting a business. And so if you're someone who like wants to start a business and like really wants to like start a business and stick with it, here's the things I would tell you. First of all, patience. When I quit my job and like started my business, I had a goal to make 20K by the end of the year, which was like kind of outlandish. But it felt, I guess, expensive at the time. It like kind of motivated me to get started. But that was like a lot. Like that was a lot. You could say like in a way I like almost got that, because like yeah, like I actually finally pulled out my savings. Like I don't know, I think in a way it worked out where I actually like did kind of almost get that, but like it wasn't through my business, it was like through my savings, through Spencer finding a different job, all those things. So anyways, I had this outlandish goal, but like as I look back, I'm noticing that like the consistency and like the things that I've been trying to do are working. Like I'm truly like laying groundwork right now, and it's like things are happening, and like I am profitable right now. Like I'm not losing money. Not that I've really ever lost money. Well, probably at the beginning, right? When I invested in things, I wasn't really like gaining everything back. But now I would say I'm investing in things and gaining it back. So we're like in the green a little bit, which I just have goals from here to go get higher. But it's taking time, right? Like I started, I would say about a year ago. So like it took me maybe about a year to like get profitable, which like is kind of a long time. So like maybe, I don't know, it's actually kind of short if you think about it. Short and long. I was hoping for 20K within a few months, but now I'm like profitable and very happy about it, and like only thinking I'm gonna go up from here. Woohoo! Second thing you need to do is you have to surround yourself with people that are also like looking to, I guess, level up their life or like think differently, or like, I don't know, be business owners with you too. And this one I have to kind of give credit to like my sister, because like before I even started my business, my older sister was like, she already had a very successful photography business and was like shifting to like try to make more money and create this course and stuff. And she was just like always talking about it. And like literally I feel like it like swept me. My other sister started a business. Like we both just kind of like have been starting businesses this last year. So like someone like that, like surround yourself with them. I was talking to her every day. Of course we're going to talk about business. The other thing though you can do is like listen to really like good podcasts of people who are like entrepreneurs. I love YouTube, right? So I follow like a lot of YouTubers that like I want to emulate / be like. So just surround yourself with people that are like ahead of you, because then you'll like naturally want to be there. I hired a coach who's like way ahead of me, but like that's been like a really good like mentor and like kind of goal for me to want to have. And then the other thing I'll say with that, and this comes from the Big Leap too, is when you start like leveling up, people around you like naturally will. So like you'll start sweeping up people with you that like want to like do what you're doing and changing your life. And then the third thing I'll say is that it's working. It will work as long as you are working on it and trying. The only way like this will fail is if I quit. And so I don't really foresee myself quitting anytime soon. I'm like literally about to have a baby, and I'm like have lots of clients and like have lots of work that I see like going far. And yeah, some days I like feel like, oh my gosh, I'm like nothing's happening. But like then days like today where I'm like, oh people want to work with me. Like I'm like remembering that I'm like serving my clients, and like I don't know, it's gonna work as long as you don't quit. But also like maybe it's tip number 4 I'll say is like get some help. Hire a coach. They'll tell you what to do, and they will just like sweep you up, like I said, into their goodness. So yeah, that's like my business journey. I really love this side of business, if you can't tell. I love the side of business where you talk about business. I love the bullet journaling side. Like, of course, that's like my creativity, and I do feel like that's my zone of genius. But I almost feel like getting into the side of like actually making it profitable has been fun for me. So like the accounting side of it, I guess you would say. No, not the accounting side of it. I don't know. I'm just like doing my business almost like a game. Like I finally like have a monetary goal that I'm not like scared of. I've been scared to like set a goal since my 20K goal. But the goal that I've been setting right now, I'm like feeling very expansive about, feeling very good about, and feeling like I can do this. And like my mind is like coming up with ways to like make money, because it's just kind of a goal. And it's not like to make money to get people to pay me. It's like I want to serve people, and like I have a really cool way to serve people. And the really cool way is this: I want to make a journal with you, and I want you to have it and love it. And then the next step would be, let's sell it together. You can sell it to the people that you like, that are in your audience, and I'll help you like learn how to do that, because I've launched 10 different journals. I just looked at it over the past year. Next week I'm going to walk through 4 of those launches with you, so stay tuned. It's another like businessy chat next week. But I'm super excited. My business, it fills me up. I'm a mom, right? Like that's the last thing I'll say is like I'm so grateful to be a mom, because like I said, I was just like operating happily at my zone of excellence until I became a mom. So like I'm so grateful to be a mom, because I feel like motherhood made me do it. Motherhood made me take this leap. This also just like fills my cup like a mom too. And even though I'm like thinking about my business a lot, most of the time I'm being a mom and I'm loving it. So you can have it all is basically what I'm trying to say. You can make money while you're being creative and like feeling like you're operating in like a zone of genius way that like shouldn't make you money. You can make money that way. If you want help doing that, and if you want to make a journal and let me get you started in that direction with you like that, comment, find me on Instagram at Created by Krista Kirky, and let's get started. Please subscribe and stick around, and we'll be talking about launching next week. All right, see you guys then.